Each a returning champion, Elgintensity. Move over, CrossFitters, there's a new way to cheat through the KIP, by enrolling there and joining a girls' sports team as a man. Their girls' basketball game on February 8 against the Collegiate Charter School of Lowell, Massachusetts ended at halftime. If the question is why, then the answer is Y chromosome. That KIP Academy student throwing his opponent like a rag doll who wore the wrong dress to his tea party is a 17-year-old man who identifies as a woman. Nobody on the girls' team stands a chance against him because his physical advantages over women allow him to hang onto balls like a nut hugger. Collegiate left after only 16 minutes of play with KIP leading 31-14, but the game went into the books as a 10-0 forfeit win for KIP. That means there's still no safe combination of trans people, children, and books. This male player is also on the girls' track and volleyball teams, and he has never played on a boys' team. The player is reported to be more than 6 feet tall with facial hair. If only someone could dunk on that freak. It would still count as hitting a three in transition. Officials refuse to confirm the player's gender identification. I doubt that they're legally obligated to do so, but it's like refusing to deny that your username is in a Chris Hansen chat log. If the player identifies as female, participation on the girls' team would seem to be supported by the governing body for high school athletics in Massachusetts. Notably, the rule can't be exploited to gain a competitive advantage, even though that's the only reason for a trans woman to play on a girls' team. Being born a man gives him more basketball cheat codes than NBA Jam. The athletics board defers to the student and the school, both of whom benefit from the farce and have no incentive to reveal the inherent competitive advantage at play. To excel in basketball, he just has to learn how to tuck properly, and I don't mean his elbow. KIP has a record of 10-7 after finishing 1-19 last season. He hasn't transformed the girls' basketball team into the greatest one on earth, but he shouldn't even be on the court. No policy discussion of fairness in sports should neglect safety at all, let alone this much. That ball handler smashed a teen and the league looked the other way. Who does he think he is, Karl Malone? Collegiate commented on its decision to forfeit about a week later. The coach of the Collegiate Charter School of Lowell girls basketball team decided to end a game at halftime after watching a third player injured in the game with KIP Academy. He was responsible for 2 of those injuries. All of the dudes worried about Usher grabbing their girlfriends obviously haven't seen women play ball versus someone from the Troon squad. The bench was already depleted going into the game, with the 12-player roster having 4 players unable to play. When the coach saw 3 more go down in the first half, leaving him with 5 players, he made the call to end the game early. You know it's bad when the cisgenders go down at a greater rate than the transgenders. The upcoming charter school playoffs were looming, and he needed a healthy and robust bench in 4 days. Once the third was injured, the remaining 5 expressed concern to him about continuing to play. The players feared getting injured and not being able to compete in the playoffs. I can understand why. When they fought for the ball, he gave her the Massachusetts alphabet people's version of the Stockton slap, the Provincetown pluck. Despite the charter school's apparent desire to stay out of the nationwide debate over trans-identified males in female sports, there was legitimate concern from the girls on the Lowell Collegiate Charter School team for their physical well-being. It's also no fun to watch half a game. If I wanted to see a mutant weaken someone through physical contact and wind up with a flat-out body, I wouldn't watch the man wearing 32. I'd watch X-Men 97. If you saw this clip without context and assumed that it came from a 2024 remake of Juwanna Man, then you'd be wrong, because the race swap is going the wrong way. If Massachusetts law lets schools fill their girls' teams with trans women, then I don't know why KIP didn't go all out. Their players won't get periods, but they'll sure cause bloodbaths. There's always a risk of injury in sports, but conditions should be tuned to minimize them. It's one thing to be thrown by someone who's around your size and strength. It's another to be manhandled by Gorlock the Backboard Destroyer. KIP stands for Knowledge is Power Program, but if any schools allow trans women on girls' sports teams, then the power of their athletics programs is delusion.
0!